Hello, Met Opera kids and families. Happy holidays from the Met. My name is Dan Marshall, and I am a lucky guy who gets to spend his day at his favorite place, the Metropolitan Opera, talking about his favorite thing, opera, with very, very cool boys and girls all around the world. And today, I'm so excited because we're teaming up with a very, very good friend of mine, Roxana. Roxana is a designer. Roxana is a milliner. Now, that's a big word. Milliner is a person who makes or sells hats. In Roxana's case, she makes hats. She's a craftsperson. And today, Roxana is planning a opera slash holiday slash crafting extravaganza for us. I want to get her in here. I'm out of words here. Roxana, hi.
Hey, Dan.
Oh my gosh, it's
Hey,
so
opera
great to
lovers.
see you. Hey, opera lovers. We are so thrilled to have you with us today. Roxana, I'm going to quickly take a moment and describe myself for our friends who are watching, and maybe you can do the same thing too.
I'd love to.
I said my name is Dan Marshall. I'm a white man. I use the he, him series of pronouns. My hair is sort of silvery black. I got a mustache and green eyes, and I'm wearing my favorite t shirt from the Met Opera. It says Voices Rise on it. Roxana, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. I'm Roxana Ramseur. I use she, her pronouns, and I am coming at you from the unceded lands of the Shasta, Tacoma, and Lagawa peoples, which we know as Oregon. Yeah, Ashland, Oregon. And I am in a room in my house. There's a bunch of framed pictures on the wall behind me, some pillows with circular patterns, and I have a purple shirt on today. I'm a white woman with gray brown hair and blue eyes, and I am just thrilled to be here today.
Let's get started. Now, what have you cooked up for us to create today?
Well, we get to make the awesome red fascinators, and a fascinator is like a small little perchy hat. Um, we get to make the awesome red fascinators that some of the chorus women in Cinderella wear.
Oh
And
my gosh.
we're actually going to get to wear these to the opera.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
We're making a wearable craft?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so excited. There it is. Oh, that looks so cool. I can't wait. Now, I was thinking that maybe we should take a quick moment to take a look at this beautiful production of Cinderella that is on stage at the Met this holiday season. Should we
Okay.
take a quick look? I love this.
Oh, I
All
can't
right,
wait.
here we go. Wow.
Amazing.
I can't wait to be there. Oh my gosh. Okay. I am going to get out of your way. I'm going to let you please take the lead and tell everyone what we're about to create today.
Oh, great. Dan, I wonder if you can show us some of the photos from the
Ooh,
opera. We have some still images.
I do.
And
I'd love to.
yeah, so this is just going to show us a little more detail about what we're going to see on stage that we are recreating in our own homes. So those amazing chorus women are wearing these fascinators. And you see two of Laurent Pellet's illustrations, his costume renderings for these pieces. And there they are close up. So this is what we're making. It's pretty simple, but it has such a wonderful dynamic impact, this beautiful shape. And speaking of shapes, I think when I look at this shape, I think, how am I going to start making this? I kind of think, well, it kind of reminds me of a cylinder a little bit because it's hollow in the middle and it's rounded. It has rounded walls. So that's what I'm going to start with.
Okay.
If you will make a hat along with me, Dan,
Oh
would
my
you do
gosh.
that?
I would totally be honored. Now, I have some supplies here, but
Oh, we gotta look at the supply list, of
all right,
course.
let's take a look here. So we've got we've got some essential supplies and some
Mhm.
add-ons. So the thing that I need for sure are scissors. I've got
Mhm.
those.
Scissors, something to write with, a pencil or a pen.
I've got that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You need
Uh,
tape.
red paper. I
Oh
see
yeah.
that on the list there. Okay, I've got my red paper. This is kind of heavy duty paper. Is that good?
Heavy duty paper is ideal. We
Okay,
do have
great.
some options for if you don't happen to have this around. We have some options for you.
Okay.
But stiff paper
Let's
is
see. I've got
ideal.
tape.
Mhm.
I've got Scotch tape here, and a headband. I've got a headband.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, great.
And if it's
Perfect.
a narrow headband, that's kind of ideal.
Okay,
But a wider headband can work too.
that's gonna work, I think.
Yeah, and
Great.
we do have some options for things if you don't happen to have a headband around. There's other things that we can use to help perch this cutie on your head.
Cool. All right. Well, let's get down to business. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Great. So, like I was saying, when I looked at that rendering and when I looked at the photos from the production, it most reminded me of a cylinder. So, a cylinder is a circular bottom, three-dimensional shape, circular bottom, circular top with rounded edges. So, I didn't have this on the essentials materials list because you don't actually have to go through this pattern making process with us. But I thought it might be um, a fun exploration so that you can get a sense of what a crafts artisan or a milliner actually does in their job. And making the pattern is the first step, one of the first steps. So I'm going to start with this piece of scrap paper. You can use any copy paper, piece of scrap paper. I folded it in half. And you can use scissors, or I did a pretty hard fold, so I'm just going to tear mine in half.
I'm gonna use scissors because
That's great.
Right.
And the reason why I'm doing this is that when I looked at that rendering and at the images on from the production, it looked kind of like the cylinder was about this tall to me.
Okay.
So I thought half a width of paper seemed like a good place to start. So that's why we're starting here. Now I'm going to take this piece of paper and I'm going to fold it lengthwise in half again. My kids call this the hot dog style. I don't know if your family calls this hot dog style fold. This gives us the midline. It identifies the midline of this long rectangle. I'm going to do another fold at the end. I'm going to fold it about an inch over. This little extra piece on this end is going to be I'm just going to put some hash marks here so you can see it better. This is going to be our tab where when we roll our cylinder into the rounded shape. This is going to be the overlapping spot.
Got it. Okay.
So we have a long rectangle folded in half with the little extra tab for the overlap. Now, one of the hardest things about this is now, because when I was looking at the rendering, I counted 5 points on this crown.
Oh, wow.
And so now we have to divide this paper into 5 even sections. And so if you are an adult with, like I have like a size small hands, slender fingers, it measures if we're going to divide this into fifths. I found that 3 of my fingers is about a fifth. So I can mark this paper in fifths by measuring my fingers across. Now, if you're a young person, it might be the whole width of all 4 of your fingers of your smaller size hand. And so we can divide our paper into fifths this way. So this is probably the hardest part. You could measure it and find the inches and divide by 5 if you have a ruler handy, but you can also do a relative measurement by using your fingers. You can also zigzag fold it
Oh, okay.
into those 5 sections like this.
I'm making lines. I used 3 fingers, and that worked out pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good. It's not exact, but that's
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be exact.
My marks on it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to see if this can. A little less hot. Okay. So now we have this piece. I'm going to just draw because this exposure is pretty high on this camera. I'm going to draw these lines out. You don't need to draw these lines. This is just so that my folds are easier for you to see.
Got it.
So we have the midline and these 5 sections. So now I'm going to go ahead and fold mine up like an accordion.
Okay.
And I'm going to draw a triangle from the middle of the top to down to just about a finger's width past the midline on either side. So I've just drawn this mountain peak.
Oh, okay. Oh, that looks like the letter A.
It does look like the letter A with our midline here. Totally. Yeah, and then I'm going to take, this is, since we have it folded in an accordion, we're cutting all 5 points at the same time.
Oh, got it. Okay.
I'm going to cut through all the layers down the sides of that kind of letter A that we drew. Like this.
Oh, great. Okay.
And now when I open it up, I end up with this kind of crown shape.
Right.
These points.
Oh, perfect. Hang on. I'm almost there. The kids are probably like, that guy's slow.
You are doing just fine, Dan.
Thank you. All right.
Now, this little piece that we folded over in the beginning is like a partial mountain. And this is our little overlap, our little tab that's going to be an overlap spot. We don't need the mountain part of that. So I'm going to cut off the mountain part and just leave it as a little rectangular tab that's going to stick out on the edge.
Got it. Okay. I did okay here. I have a little uneven. One peak is a little uneven.
It's so fine.
Okay, good.
Yeah, because there's a lot of room for having it be unique.
Good.
Love it. You can even go back, and the ones that are connected, Dan, you could just freehand cut down and make that valley deeper if you wanted. But you don't have
cool. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try it.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, look what we did. So we ended up with, we made this, what's going to be a crown. It's going to be a crown. It's got the points. It has the 5 points. We can roll it up into a round shape, into the cylinder shape with the dagged ends. I'm going to put a piece of tape. I'm going to underlap that tab and put a piece of tape so that my mountains meet up and make this round shape.
Got it. Okay. Right.
And now the thing that I'm noticing about this is that even if I curl the edges of this outwards, like I saw in the rendering, I saw on the real hats from the pictures from stage, it's still like, it doesn't look, there's something missing. Do you think we could look at those, the close-up pictures of those chorus women?
Look at those again. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm noticing is different. Let's see. It's close. We have the 5 points. They're curving out. And the way I curved them out is I kind of just rubbed my thumb and my index finger along them to kind of curl them. You can also take a pencil and like roll it up along the edges to get that curled look. you want to. But even after doing all of that, it looks a little, it doesn't look exactly the same. And what I was noticing about that picture is that the base of the cylinder was actually narrower, more narrow than the top. Like the top flared out more like a funnel.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is slash and overlap. So slashing when you're pattern making is one way that you could increase or decrease a shape. So I'm going to cut into, I'm going to cut into one of my valleys, and I'm not going to cut all the way through. I'm just going to cut shy of the valley.
Okay.
So that most of it is separated, but it's still connected.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. I did that.
And then I'm going to overlap it about a finger's width.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that just this much. And I'm going to take a piece of tape and I'm going to reconnect it.
Oh, cool. All right.
So what we've done is we've taken out a little bit of the circumference of the base on one of our valleys.
Yeah. Oh, I get it.
So now I want to take out that much circumference all the way around. So I'm going to do the same thing to every valley. I'm going to slash up almost to, but not all the way through to that valley tip. I'm going to overlap those cut edges. I'm going to put a piece of tape to hold it steady in my new position. So that's two. That's down. There's the third one. Oh, and already I can see, look at this side where I've made that correction. Look how that line is slanty versus this side, which is very straight up and down. That's our original cylinder edge. This one's curvy. I can see that we're having an effect.
It's curving.
Yeah.
Cool.
So when you're...
Right. So we slice up, not quite, like just leaving like a little bit of paper between the valley. We're cutting it from the bottom, and then we're folding it over and taping it. Great. Okay.
And also when you're garment making, that's that action of taking some material out can be called a dart.
Oh, cool.
If you know sewing terms.
I didn't know that.
We took some darts into the bottom of our shape.
Huh.
So now I think we have a shape that's much closer to what the renderings and what the actual crowns are like. It's narrow, it's more narrow at the bottom, and it's wider at the top. It has that nice, that beautiful funnel shape. It's almost like a lily. It kind of has a lily shape.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of like a trumpet.
Yeah, or a trumpet, exactly.
Yeah, cool.
So now that we have this, now if you were working with red paper, this could just be your piece. But since we have these cuts and this tape, I'm going to make, we're going to go ahead and go through and make a finished pattern and once you have the pattern, you can use it over and over again. And I'm going to cut a really nice clean one out of some new red paper.
Cool.
So the next step I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up. So I'm going to cut all the way through this time through a valley so that my pattern piece can be flat.
Any valley? It doesn't matter.
Any valley, it doesn't matter.
Okay. I'm going to cut right through there. Okay.
And so now we've got this, which looks quite a bit different than how we started. We started with a cylinder. It was a very straight shape. We slashed and overlapped to take out material from the bottom circumference.
Right.
We reduced the circumference to make our cool fan funnel shape. So now we have a curve at the bottom instead of a straight line. So that's the overall effect of taking in those darts.
I love that. this is going to sound silly, but it's just like a little bit more whimsical. It's a little bit more fun, right?
Yeah, it has more sort of animation to it, right?
Yeah.
So now you can take another piece of scrap paper,
Okay.
extra copy paper you have lying around. I'm going to use this. You can use a pencil. I'm going to use the Sharpie because it shows up a little bit better.
Yeah, that's what I have.
And now we're going to just trace around this shape.
Okay.
So this is going to be our actual pattern piece.
Got it.
The piece that we're tracing. It's going to be nice and clean and without all the tape and the cuts.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll be able to use it over and over again.
In case you want to get into the holiday spirit and start making these as gifts for people.
Yeah, you can make one for every family member.
Right? If you're all coming to the opera together, I suggest you all wear one of these amazing crafty crowns.
You could even make table decorations with them for your holiday table. You could use them as napkin ring holders.
What cool. The possibilities are endless.
Endless. And I'm going to draw in this tab because the tab is essential to
okay, good to know. Okay.
Piece. I'm going to just draw a little rectangle so I don't forget to cut that out.
Okay.
And here's a little tip I realized when now our the final piece that we're making, the piece that we're recreating had those fun balls on the ends of all the tips.
Oh yeah.
So we're going to draft in a circle shape at the tops of these peaks. Okay. But I'm just going to give a little warning, Dan, that cutting circles, especially circles that are connected at a really narrow point to the rest of your work, is pretty challenging. So if you feel like you don't have that much practice with scissors, you can actually leave the circles off and just finish your pattern like this with the pointy zigzags. And I'll show you at the end how we can do some alternative options and say like glue sequins on or glue pom-poms on instead of having to do the difficult cutting of cutting out a circle.
Okay, that's super fun. And I'll just say that I have a lot of experience with scissors and I know that I would still mess that up. So I'm gonna just do the peaks.
Okay, great.
All right.
And for those who want to make the circles, I found that actually the center of the tape dispenser is a really nice template for drawing circles. It's kind of the perfect size.
Oh, cool. All right, so then maybe I'll try. You've inspired me to try.
Yeah, you can try.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's kind of the perfect size.
Right.
Having a template is nice. Also a glue stick. That's also a good size for these circles.
Oh, cool. Okay, I got my glue stick, so I'm going to try. All right.
So this is our pattern piece. And and you can just go ahead and cut this out. I cut out one earlier, so I have one that's finished already cut out. And
yours is significantly tidier than mine, but I think mine will get the job done in the end.
Sweet.
Good.
Yeah, there's lots of room for improvisation, lots of room for, the quote unquote mistake that turns into, a beautiful new discovery. There's lots of room for variation here.
Cool.
There are no mistakes.
That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome. And then I'm just going to cut this out, right? It's all here.
It looks beautiful, Dan.
Oh, thanks. I actually realized now that I actually have six peaks and not 5, but I'm going to go with it. As you said, no mistakes.
No mistakes. 6 peaks is awesome. 6, it's the more the merrier.
There we go.
So once you have your pattern piece, I don't mean to rush you, but I'm gonna go ahead and
you keep going. You keep going. I feel a little.
I'm gonna go ahead and trace out because I have some other things to show.
Yeah.
I'm gonna trace out this pattern piece on my stiff red paper.
Okay.
And And again, I'm using a Sharpie just because I want it to show up on the camera. You can use a pencil at home, that's fine, or a pen. You just mark around your pattern piece. And so this is going to be my finished red paper.
Oh, it looks so good, Roxana.
Yeah, and this paper is kind of cool because it's red on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't happen to have paper that's red on both sides, you can make it red. So here's another version that I did with an earlier pattern. And when I traced it onto this paper, I knew how big my crown was going to be. So I didn't have to color the whole paper. Mm-hmm. I only had to color the part, the pattern piece part. So I just used a crayon, which worked great. You can use markers, you can use colored pencils, whatever you want. This paper had a funny pattern on the other side. So I experimented with painting over that paper and also markering in some of the spots to create a red paper. So that's an option.
I love that pattern though. That's really cool.
Yeah. And even, if you have I had this red gift bag around, and I thought, oh, I love this red color. You could even take this gift bag apart because it's pretty nice and stiff. You could take the gift bag apart and use that as your paper. You could recycle or reuse, and you would end up with a really cool star pattern. And
that's so
as your red paper.
Yeah, because you end up with so many gift bags, in your house sometimes at the end of the holidays, especially if you're lazy like me and don't like to gift wrap.
Oh yeah, and then to be able to have that super shiny red color.
Oh yeah.
That if you're using, sometimes construction paper red is not quite red enough. Although construction paper for this project would work just fine.
Okay.
So I'm going to cut out this one and see. By tracing the pattern first on this paper, on my self-colored paper, I kind of, like I said, I saved myself the time of having to, just color the whole page. But then I can go back into the back side, and I can color in these spots even more if I chose
that's cool.
to. And then you get to decide which side of the paper is the front.
Oh yeah.
Because in this crown, you actually see both sides. You see the inside and you see the outside. And so I can keep this closed. Oh, you know what? I want to show you a couple things first.
All right.
Take it closed.
This is so fun. And you know what? It's also kind of getting me into the holiday spirit, and also I'm getting super excited to see Cinderella.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh!
Cinderella,
so exciting! All of the set pieces and the costumes.
Oh my gosh, those costumes are fun. I feel like what I loved about the clip that we shared is that the costumes told me pretty much everything I needed to know about those characters, didn't they?
Yeah, they were super expressive.
Yeah, the costumes really tell a story sometimes. Well, most times, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's your job as a costume designer. Your job is to help define the characters and help move the story forward by helping to illustrate who the character is, what their intentions are, what role they play in relationship to the other characters.
Wow.
Here I did another version with just the points out of construction paper.
Oh, cool. That looks a very Statue of Liberty.
Oh, yeah, totally. If you left it straight. I wanted to point out a couple things. If you if you do the version with the points, if you don't want to tackle cutting the complicated curves, you can, it's kind of best to add your pom-poms or your sequins at this stage. And this is sort of where some of the optional materials come into play. So I'm going to use a hot glue gun because for a real-time demonstration, it's kind of the...
Oh yeah, that works faster than...
It's a little faster than waiting for glue to dry.
Got it. But usually if I'm using a hot glue gun at home, I should make sure a grown-up knows that I'm using it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. You need some, you might need some help with the hot things. So definitely make sure you have an adult.
Oh, cool. Okay, so I just want to check in with you. I ended up losing one of my points, so I'm back down to 5, but I think I did okay. And I ended up doing the round parts on the top, and it was easier than I thought it was going to be. So
hey, that's amazing, Dan.
Thanks.
Cool.
Oh, and I love those pom-poms.
Yeah, and you know what? This set of pom-poms, I didn't have all the same color, so I put some pink ones in. And you know what? That's okay.
That is super okay.
That's cool.
I love that.
Yeah. And it's much easier, especially that process of, you know, if we're using some tacky glue or white school glue, just take the time and let it dry while it's flat. Don't touch it, because if you try and assemble your crown while the glue's still wet, they're just going to fall off, and it's frustrating.
Oh, that's really good advice.
And one thing I wanted to point out is that when we're doing the pointy version with the added on pom-poms or sequins, it seems a little counterintuitive. Like, counterintuitive means like you wouldn't assume that this was the correct way to do it. You wouldn't think this was the right way. I'm going to put all those pom-poms on the inside when I roll up my crown and tape it together.
Okay.
Oh, I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but I'm going to just explain by holding it. The reason why they need to go on the inside is because they're all going to flop to the outside.
Oh, I get it.
Curl them. So that's just a tip for those of you who are doing the pom-pom add-on method.
I love that.
I need to back up a little bit because we have to do some preparation, Dan, for mounting it onto the headband.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, and so one of the ways that we're going to, or the best way, the quickest way of reinforcing our paper and the spots where we're going to need to cut into our crown to make spots for our headband to go through, and we're going to reinforce it by putting tape along this bottom edge. And you could put tape just on the places where you're going to cut, but I'm going to go ahead and put tape all around the edge just to sort of make it a little bit more sturdy.
Sticky side down, right?
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
So it's just creating, and I'm going to actually do it on both sides because I want to make this last all the way, my whole subway ride to the Met, going through the lobby, getting my special drink at concessions, and all the way through the opera. So I'm double reinforcing it. I'm just taping it on both edges, all along that curve, that pretty curved circumference we made.
Got it.
With our slash and overlap technique.
Okay. I'm doing the same thing that you're doing because I definitely want to wear this to the Met at least twice.
Yeah.
Because I just got so excited watching that trailer of Cinderella that I kind of think I'm going to go see it more than once. What do you think?
Oh, amazing. Can I come with you?
You can.
Ooh, that would be so fun.
All right. All right, I think I got my tape on there. Do you see that?
I do. Hey, that's perfect.
Okay, I got it on both sides. Great. Okay.
Perfect. And you can trim away the excess.
Okay.
So that you just have the paper left.
Okay.
Yeah, and when I set my tape on, I put it only on the paper, but you can also do it like Dan did and make it extend off the edge of the paper. That works too. Either way.
Got it.
But you definitely want to have that edge covered.
Okay.
And that's just a little security. So now I've rolled my this one with the pom-poms. I rolled it pom-poms in, and I
Okay.
rolled it, and I taped my tab secure where those valleys meet.
Got it. And the tab goes on the inside or the outside, or
I
does
put
it
my
matter?
tab on the inside so that it's kind
Okay.
of hidden, and
Got
that
it.
we don't need to see that part. It's just
Yeah.
it's just a construction.
Got it. All right. Cool.
Construction device was what I was thinking of.
Oh, got it. All right.
And right now what I'm doing that rolling thing. I'm putting my index finger on the underside of these mountains and rubbing, pulling that index finger with my thumb pinched next to it so that I'm curling the top of the crown.
Oh, great.
Oh, I love the way this bounces.
That's really fun. Okay, I got mine taped and I'm going to start rolling it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I get it. Oh, that's super fun. And it's really easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Oops, I just pulled off my.
Oh, see, that happens sometimes. But you know what? That's what tape's for. You just
Okay,
put a
great.
on it. No
Okay,
problem.
perfect. I'm going to
Glue
tape
it
that
back
back.
on. You
Oh,
can tape it back on. No
you know,
problem.
it's important to laugh when you make mistakes, I think.
Yeah. It's all good.
It's just crafting, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm going to start thinking about how I'm going to mount this on my headband. I'm going to give you a look.
Okay.
Give you a look at this, the way this is. You can see here my tape that I put on either side, and then I had just kind of folded it in half at this midline and created the slits for my headband to go through. So the way
cool.
I find the midline that I'm going to pierce with the headband is I'm not going to totally squash my crown in half, but I'm going to fold it just enough that I can find the sides that are opposite each other. Okay. And I'm going to take my scissors. And I'm going to do a little slit. Not too close, but not too far. It's like just right from the edge. I'm going to cut this little skinny carrot wedge out. If you can see that.
I got it. Oh, teeny tiny.
It's a little teeny tiny because I still want it to hug the headband. Right. It doesn't need to be big because my headband's only, it's only this thick.
Great. Okay, got that. And you know what? I found that headband just at, I think I went to Target, and it was super, it was I don't know, $3 for $1 or something.
Yeah. That when I got my poster board at the dollar store, I also found headbands that I had 6 for $1. So you can make that for all of your friends.
It's going to be you need one. All the cool kids will be wearing them to the Met.
Yeah. All your family members. And so then now we have these handy dandy slits that are reinforced.
Okay.
And we just slide our headband through that slot. Through the first slot, past the middle, and through the other slot.
So easy.
Yeah. You can kind of ooch it up until it's in not quite center, but it's a little bit off to one side. That's how you get that little jaunty presentation.
Oh, that's fun. Okay.
Yeah. And then you can put it on.
What? Look at me. Are you kidding? That's so cool.
Ah, it looks great.
Oh my gosh, there we go. Whoop.
Look how bouncy it is. It's so fun.
So fun. I'm going to decorate mine, I think, and keep working on it.
Yours is amazing. I love it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a little, there it is. Boom.
So cool.
So fun. Oh my gosh. Friends.
Now, Dan, can I show you a couple other things in case you didn't, you couldn't make that run to the dollar store or the Target to get.
Great. Oh, yeah. Because not everybody has a dollar store nearby. Luckily, I can walk to mine.
I'm going to show you, here's the other, I got to change my camera, sorry.
Yeah,
you can use pipe cleaners, chenille wires, they're also called. or a ribbon. So I'm going to do the same thing. I already reinforced this crown with tape.
Okay.
Y'all were with me while I did that.
Oh, cool.
And I'm going to do the same thing, a little clip, just to give us a small, tiny slit.
I see it.
On either side. And I have two pipe cleaners. I just happen to have green ones lying around. So I figured that was kind of holiday festive color. So I'm going to use these green ones. I'm twisting two of them together to make it long enough to go around my head.
Okay.
And now I'm just going to thread the same way we did with the headband. I'm going to thread these through the crown slits that I made.
Got it.
And now I can just fit this to my head. I can go around the back, and you can also have an adult help you with this and find out where they overlap. Mine overlaps. I need almost the whole length.
That's so fun.
And just twist them together. And
oh, that's great.
Here I have this jaunty crown, and I didn't curl these.
Yeah.
On this one, but we can curl these. And
that's that super cool paper.
Yeah, this is the paper with the spots on the inside. You can do a similar thing with maybe you only have. So here's what the pipe cleaner version looks like with the pipe cleaner headband substitute, which is kind of great. If you just have maybe you just have a fabric or an elastic stretchy one available.
Oh yeah.
This is another trick. You can add, you know how we added the tab to our funnel shape to make sure that we had a place to connect it when we rolled it up. We added that tab on the edge. I am going to use tabs again to create a surface that I can staple through, because I'm going to staple this crown to the fabric. Because this is already a ring. I don't have a way to open, it's a finished thing. I don't have a way to open it up and thread it through those slits. So I'm going to take this piece of this little scrap of red paper. Oh, I should have cut it wider. I'm going to cut it wider. Make these rectangles into squares. I'm going to take these onto this hat. So again, these are these little tabs. I'm taping to either side of the crown, so that now I've kind of got these little feet sticking out.
Got it.
So now my crown has feet.
Oh, cool.
And then this is a surface on which I could staple it through, something that already exists.
Oh my gosh, you are so brilliant. I never would have thought of that.
You need those little feet because you got to have something to, you need an anchor. There, and then this guy can get curled.
That's how I'm going to have to do it for my dog. Because now I'm making one of these for my dog, and I don't think
sweet.
And I feel like my dog won't wear a headband. I'll have to it'll have to be that way.
It'll be hard to, it has to go all the way around for the dog. Let me switch my camera again so you can see me. So this version now is our crown attached to something that's already a ring, a headband, like an elastic or a fabric headband that's already a ring. So this.
Oh, that's really fun.
So this is another option.
Oh, that's great. So many.
I have one final thing to offer, Dan.
Oh, go for it.
In case people don't have, if you're like, I don't have any of those red papers.
Yeah.
Um, One final option I can show you is like I had some wrapping paper that was
Uh-huh.
red. Actually, I didn't have it. I got this at the dollar store for $1. But if you happen to have red um, wrapping paper around and it's too flimsy, it's not
Mhm.
heavy duty enough, you can cut one crown out of the paper, trace that crown on another piece of paper, glue those two together. Just use your glue stick
Okay.
and glue them together on all the edges. And this way, since I traced one piece onto the other, and notice my wrong sides of the paper are together when I traced it, you can manufacture for yourself in your own home a double-sided piece of wrapping paper. So I'm going to just put this back on. It doesn't need to be absolutely precise to where it was before, to where it was when you traced it, but
Right.
close is good. There. And now I can cut this out and it'll be double-sided.
Oh, cool. Because you always have so much, it seems like I always have so much red or blue, or, you can do a blue one, I guess, if you don't have red wrapping paper. But I feel like I have so much like little scraps of wrapping paper that aren't enough to wrap anything.
Yeah, and you don't need that much. So now
Right.
you have a paper that's red on both sides.
Oh, that's so fun.
So if that's another option in case you don't have the like cardstock red paper or the red poster board.
Right.
There are lots and lots of ways to make this work for you.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I love the pattern too. That's the fun part about the wrapping paper.
Yeah, exactly. And then, and then you end up with all of these super unique, the whole audience is full of these unique crowns.
I think so. That's so fun. Well, I'm thinking, as you're saying, the whole audience is full of them. We hope, I put this up before, but we hope that everyone wears their hat to the opera house when they see Cinderella. And we have a prize for everyone who does that. So if you wear,
Wow.
I know, isn't that exciting? You wear your hat to the opera house and you'll get spotted and you'll get a prize. And also, we would love it if you would share your creation on Instagram. You can tag us at Met Opera or Met Opera Student and hashtag Met Holiday Festival. All right.
That sounds great.
So fun. I know. Won't that be fun? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, Roxana, that looks so cool. All the different options.
Lots of different ways to make it unique, make it your own. And you can also always just do the really straightforward one that we did at first.
Yeah, that's what I got. You know what? I think this is working for me.
It looks fantastic.
Thanks. So cool. Oh, you are so creative. And I think, it was a lot of fun. And beyond being fun, I actually learned a lot about pattern making today, which I super appreciate. So
yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you enjoyed it. One of my favorite things as a costume crafts artisan and a milliner is that process of translating the designer's rendering, from 2D into 3D. And I think it's just really satisfying when you can go through that process and come out with, this finished wearable product. I think it's really fun.
I mean, look what we came up with based on these drawings. And then these photos. And I feel like we did a pretty good job, right?
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. Roxana, thank you so much for being such a great friend and such a great opera lover. And I am so, so excited to see all of the young people and their families who come to the opera house wearing these remarkable jaunty crowns that we created to celebrate kids coming back to the opera house, the holiday season, and being together again. So thank you for being here, and happy holidays, everyone.
Bring a lot of joy.
Oh, I totally agree. I can't wait. Well, from the Metropolitan Opera, from me and from my friend Roxana, Happy holidays, everyone. Stay safe and spread
Bye,
some joy.
everybody. Be
Bye.
well.
Bye bye.